Hello everyone, once again it's me, Ilelemwanta Nomaren, and this is Verse Breakdown. The verse that I want to discuss today is Psalms chapter 115 verse 16, which reads, "The heaven, even the heavens, are the Lord's, but the earth hath he given to the children of men." What does this verse mean? Well, let's first look at heaven. There are two things we must know about heaven. One, it isn't an ordinary place, because if it were, then God wouldn't be able to live in heaven and earth, according to Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 24. No, what heaven is a dimension. Just like there's the second and third dimensions, God lives in a dimension of his own, a dimension that encompasses the earth, but isn't visible by people who live on the earth. Secondly, God isn't alone in heaven. Also living there are the angels, Matthew chapter 22, verse 30, and Jesus Christ, according to John chapter 6, verse 38, none of whom have flesh and blood. No, they are spirits, Luke 24, verse 39. Now, I've talked about how the angels are a group that live in heaven, but there's another group, the saints, the people who are greater than John the Baptist, according to Matthew chapter 11, verse 11. The little flock mentioned in Luke 12, verse 32. The people who are absolutely guiltless, according to Revelation chapter 14, verse 5. These 144,000 people mentioned in Revelation chapter 14 verse 1 have many duties, and many of those are associated with Jesus Christ. They are his companions, according to Revelation chapter 19 verses 7 and 8. They will judge with him, according to Luke 22 verses 28 to 30, and they will rule God's kingdom with him, according to Revelation chapter 1, verse 6. They will die like everyone else, of course, because everyone has to die, Psalms chapter 49, verse 10, but they will be resurrected and changed to spirits so that they can live eternally in heaven, according to 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 51 to 53. However, we, the other sheep mentioned in John chapter 10 verse 16, will not have a chance to go to heaven. As we discussed in our sermon on It Pays to Fear God, will you go to heaven? It's not happening. St. Paul said in Acts chapter 2 verse 34 that David hadn't gone to heaven. And in Matthew chapter 11 verse 11, Jesus Christ had said that John the Baptist wasn't even eligible to go to heaven. So if those two couldn't, then why should we? Plus, as John chapter 3 verse 13 says, no one had gone to heaven before Jesus Christ, which means that there wasn't even a procedure for going to heaven or being raptured before he came, and Jesus Christ certainly never set up one. No, what we can look forward to is the new world that God's creating on earth. Revelation chapter 21, verse 1. "And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were cast away, and there was no more sea. And on this new earth, a world without iniquity," according to Revelation chapter 21, verse 4, "we can live eternally. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace." Psalms chapter 37, verse 11. The verse that I was explaining this whole time, Psalms chapter 115, verse 16, says it also. Let's hear it again. "The heaven, even the heavens, are the Lord's, but the earth hath he given to the children of men." I hope that you share this video to others who can be glorified and exalted by the message that I've just given. Thank you for listening.